Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel. You Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshua, not Yehoshua. We Yahweh Shah. So got to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rekah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, whether concepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Awak who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp, coming next with another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord willing to be edifying. So I titled this lesson, His Kingdom is Falling because it is a temporary blessing. And I was thinking about this at the plantation. So this is what my spirit is on for this lesson. Lord willing to be edifying. These devils' kingdom is falling, right? And we always say it's the elites that's messing with the numbers, that's playing with Dow Jones. Because I saw the news this morning, it was at 1,200. It's down to 1,200, whatever, right? We always say it's the elites that's playing with these numbers, that's playing with all these things that's going on, these calamities. Well, it's Yahweh Shema Shah, man. And the reason being, when Esau and Jacob was blessed, right? Because both of them had a blessing, right? They both was blessed to have a rulership, a kingdom, right? In Genesis 27. Well, Esau's blessing was a temporary blessing, right? And Jacob's blessing was a forever blessing. So, let me start here in Genesis 27. See, these devil kingdom is falling, man. And it's Yahweh Shem Shah that's in control of this thing, right? When you go to let's just read this first. This is Genesis 27, because Isaac blessed Jacob, right? Which Esau said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these two times," right? Which Jacob didn't supplant Esau the first time, right? For the birthright. Esau sold it. Okay, he sold it. So he lied, just like Cain did. When the Lord asked Cain, "Where is thy brother?" What did he say? I don't know what Cain. I don't know what Abraham is. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, if you're the oldest brother, you are your brother's keeper. So Esau lied about. Esau lied and said that Jacob supplanted him two times. So anyway, let me read this point. This is Genesis 27. When you read this chapter, just to make the point, it's Genesis 27, Genesis 27 and 22, and it reads, "And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." Right? So, as Isaac blessed Jacob, right, he also blessed Esau. Now, this is Genesis 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now, the reason this devil kingdom is falling, because it's a temporary kingdom. It wasn't meant to be permanent. Now, in 1 Kings 11, right? When you go to 1 Kings 11, because it said that Esau was going to have dominion on the earth, right? Let's read it again. Let's read it again. I'm not going to be rushing. I'm going to do this in the time and fashion, Lord willing. Genesis 27, again, just reading this point. It say, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, which they did under King David and Solomon. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And this happened during the time of Solomon. This is 1 Kings 11 and verse 11. It reads, wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much this is done of thee, it said, thou hast not hearkened, Salaki, thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes. This is the Lord talking to Solomon, which I have commanded thee. I will surely rend the kingdom from thee. This one we were split. The 12 tribes were split during the time of Solomon. Okay? We were split. Judah, Benjamin, Levi stayed with Solomon. The northern kingdom separated. There was a separation. And we have not been together again as all 12 tribes until Babylon the Great, North America, right now. That's Jeremiah 50 and 33. Say Israel and Judah were oppressed together, right? So it's I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit, I will render away all the kingdoms, but will give one tribe to the son of David, my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. This is the point I want to make. When Isaac told him that when you shall have the dominion, when you shall break the yoke of thy brother off thy neck. This is 1 Kings 11 and 14. And the Lord Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. Now, when you read, it tell you when King David had Joab to destroy the Edomites. Let's read it. Matter of fact, let's read it. Because these devils say, vocab and friends say that all the Edomites are done away with. Let's read this. Because it tell you in Ecclesiastes 4 and 16 that there is no end of all the people. Now, if the Edomites is done away with, when you read Exodus 17, let's read this first. Let's read this. This is 1 Kings 11 and 15. Verse 14 say, and Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab the captain of the host was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom. Right? For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. That Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. So the Lord always, Yahweh Shemawashah always leaves a remnant of the people. Otherwise, how could the Lord say, let's get this, I'll make this point before I go into this lesson, so this is important. This is Exodus 17 in verse 8. Exodus 17 and 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel and Rephidim. Now, how could this be possible? if all the Edomites are done away with in Genesis, Salaki, in First Kings, right? Listen, then came Amalek and fought with Israel and befit them. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose out men and go out and fight with Amalek tomorrow. I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of power in my hand. Now, I want to jump down. This is about Amalek. Listen, this is verse 16. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So, in 1 Kings 11, if the Lord done away, which he told you that Hadad the Edomite and of his father's servants of his father's house fled to Egypt, the Lord always leaves a remnant. Now, let's get this in Deuteronomy 25. This is Deuteronomy 25 and 17. Listen. Remember what Amalek did unto thee, by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, which I read, that's Exodus 17, which I was reading. How he met thee by the way, and smote the hindermost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy power have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about. This wasn't talking about during the time when we went to the land of Canaan and it was renamed to Israel. It's talking about after our last captivity, man, and we go back into the promised land. It say, therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy power have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. That means from under the earth. Thou shalt not forget it. So, when you go to Ecclesiastes 4 and 16, it reads this: there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after them shall not rejoice in him. And that's why vocab is saying they are done away with, because they're not rejoicing in finding out the history of what their forefathers have done to the 12 tribes of Israel. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Now, Hadad fled to Egypt. Now let's deal. So when Esau broke the yoke, which was during the time of Solomon, because Solomon went off. Now this is how the Lord set this movie up, right? He made Solomon go off with those 300 concubines, so this prophecy can play out, man. That's why it says 2 Thessalonians 2 that that man of sin had to be revealed, the son of perdition, right? In this time right now. That's when you read Acts 1 and 6. When the apostles asked Yahushua, what they said, are thou at this time about to restore the kingdom of heaven to Israel? He said it wasn't for them to know at that time, right? But they had to prophesy in Jerusalem and Judea and all Samaria and unto the utmost parts of the world. It wasn't time. Why? Because this devil had to be revealed. Now, Esau helped the Babylonians take us down, right? But that wasn't their rulership. They helped the Babylonians take us down. You go read in First Ezra, right, chapter 4, when they burnt the temples, right? They helped the Babylonians take us down, right? Esau's rulership beginning with the Greeks. So this is where we jump in to the Greek Empire, right? Now, this is Psalms 137. See, these devils' kingdom, Esau and Jacob, matter of fact, to precept Genesis 27, which I read. This is Hebrews 11, real quick. Hebrews 11:20. Listen. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. They both was blessed, right? Esau's blessing was a temporary blessing. Jacob's blessing is an everlasting blessing. That's why I say in 2nd Ezra, right? 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So now, let's deal with this. Psalms 137. And this is why King David said this, man. This was a future prophecy, right? And it started when them devils helped the Babylonians take us down. They was there. So listen, Psalm 137 and 7. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it. What does that mean? That means take it down, destroy it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, future prophecy, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Right? When you go to Isaiah 47, it says, O daughter of Babylon, right? Remember Edom. This is Isaiah 47 and 1. See, their kingdom is falling, it's crumbling, and it's the Lord that's doing it. And guess how the Lord is doing it? It's through the words of the Lord, man. It's through the words of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. As I tell you in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, right? By the Spirit of the Lord's mouth shall he consume this guy. Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Well, who are the virgin daughters of Babylon? It said in Psalms 137. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that reward of thee as thou hast served us. Now, I went into the other day, you saw the lesson. When you go to Daniel's 8 and 20, right? Daniel's 8 and 10. This was during the time of the Greek Empire, which this was the beginning rulership of the Job 9 and 24s, right? Daniel's 8 and 8. Therefore, the he goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. This is when Alexander the Great died. And for it became up four noble ones towards the four winds of heaven, which is his four generals. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great. This is Antiochus Epiphanes of heaven, and it cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground. These stars was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and stamped upon them. Yet he magnified himself even to the prince of the hosts, and by him the daily sacrifices was taken away. This is in Daniel 8, which goes into First Maccabees, the whole first chapter, all the way to Second Maccabees, chapter 9, when Antiochus Epiphanes was put to death by grievous sores, judgments. Go read it. Second Maccabees, chapter 9, 1 to the end. Okay? From First Maccabees 1 all the way to Second Maccabees, chapter 9, this devil was ruling, man. Okay? Because he came up out of the Seleucid Empire, a dynasty, however you want to call it. Right? It say he stamped, it say, and cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground. I just did a lesson on this. When you go to Revelations 12, what did it tell you? It said the serpent, the dragon, took a third of his stars with his tail. Who was that? That was 70 AD, the Edomites. Okay, they took down who? Yet again, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man, in Jerusalem. Right? Now, Isaiah 47 and 1 said, what? See, this devil kingdom is falling because it's a temporary kingdom. It wasn't meant to last forever, man. His kingdom, the blessing that Isaac gave him, was temporary. And I mention this all the time. This devil don't understand. When Isaac blessed Esau with the sword, Isaac never told Esau that he's going to die by the same sword that he blessed him with. Revelation 13 and 10 say what? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, right? He that leaves into captivity must go into captivity. So when Isaac blessed Esau with the sword, he didn't say, son, listen, you're going to live by the sword, you're going to rule and conquer all nations through the sword, but you will die by the same sword. He didn't tell him that. Why? Like Esau said, he has supplanted me these two times. Isaac, his father, which was Yahushua, if you can receive it, supplanted Esau, man. You're going to live by the sword, but he didn't tell him you're going to die by the same sword, man. How cold is that? Moving on. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Now, we got to move around to understand how the history played out in the scriptures. The scriptures played it out first, but then history kept records of it. So now, these devils came into rulership during the Greek Empire, right? Right. Then they transferred, right, to the Roman Empire, right? Right. When you read in Daniel 7, it tell you that the Greeks, it was the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, then the Romans, right? There's a transfer, right? Now, during the Roman Empire, what happened? So we got to go to Revelations 20. It's Revelation chapter 20. And this is a picture being painted. This is a movie that's been playing out. In Revelations 20, in 1 it say, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, and laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. This happened, which was the beginning of the Byzantine Empire, what these devils call the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, right? You got some called the time of the Moors. There's a time of the Byzantine Empire when Septimius Severus took down the pagan Roman Empire, right? This was the beginning of that. So this is when they begin to fall, right? Now, to leak this, you got to go to Job chapter 30. As it reads, Job 30:1. Because they went down. And what happened to them? They got pushed into the Caucasus Mountain, right? Right. This is Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I will have this day to have sit with the dogs of my flocks. Yeah, word two, might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished for want and famine. They were solitary, fleeing in the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes, and that's why they love to sit around fires and eat marshmallows and s'mores, and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Because it tell you in Exodus 21:16, a thief, but it say he that stealeth a man and selleth him, right? And if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. John 10:10 said, what? A thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. So they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. And they was pushed over there in Georgia, Russia, into the Caucasus Mountain, right? To dwell in the cliffs of the valley, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they braided, meaning they sounded like mules and donkeys and horses, and like pigs. Among the bushes they braid, under the nettles they were gathered together. Go watch the movie Quest for Fire. Go watch that movie. Quest for Fire. It's dealing with the Edomites. They were children of fools, yet children of base men. They were violent than the earth. So in Revelations 20, when Septimius Severus, which was the beginning of the Byzantine Empire, pushed these devils into Europe, to the Caucasus Mountain, right? Right. Now, what did Esau say? What did he say? This is Malachi chapter 1, in verse 4. And these scriptures is beautiful when you put them together, in a way to paint the picture. It's Malachi 1 and 4. Listen, because remember, they was driven forth from among men, right? Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished. How they impoverished? Because they was driven to the mountains, right? In the caves, right? In Europe, a land that's barren and desolate, as the scripture said, right? No resources, right? Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, right? They will return and build, just like the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire. We will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Did they not return and build? Right? They came out of the caves. Let's go back to Revelation. We read Revelations 1 through 3, right? Well, it breaks off. Revelation chapter 20. Verse 3 again, verse 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, which is the Roman Empire, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, the Byzantine Empire. That's when Judah and Benjamin and Levi was ruling Portugal, Spain, Europe, other parts of the world, man. Okay? Asia Minor, man. It say, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him till he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. In verse 7 it say, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, which is Europe, the Caucasus mountain, and shall go out to the sea of the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth. And I'll be mentioning this a lot. The Lord put the spirit on Constantine with the Council of Nicaea to do all this with these religions of the earth, so this devil can come right out the caves and everything will just drop into his hands, which is talking about religion. Because he deceived the world with religion. All he did was put his image on religion, right? He put his image on religion. The Lord had Constantine do all this gatherings and these back and forth. So who had this philosophy and who had the correct doctrine and this and that? When you go into look up the Council of Nicaea, right? Well, this devil came out the caves and it was already set in place for him to take religion and put a face on it and to see the world, right? And shall go out to the sea of the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, which we see right now, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the center of the sea. Now, what did he say? We will return and build a desolate places. When? When they came out of the caves, man, in the mid 1300s, going into the 1400s. This is what they did, man, right? Now, this is Psalms 49 and verse 11. It reads, when they came out the caves, right, with their whitewashing, the iconoclasm, their rebirth, which is Renaissance, right? That's like it tell you in Psalm 53, Psalm 58 and 3. It said they come out of the womb speaking lies. And that's them from their birth, from them being born on the earth to however old they get. They speak lies. But it also applies to them being reborn in the earth, which is the Renaissance. So they say they be born speaking lies. Renaissance means their rebirth in the earth. And they came out what? I just read it. Revelation 20 to the see the world, man. Okay? So they was born, reborn, rebirth, Renaissance. They was reborn speaking lies to see the world with plantation Christianity, right? With a so-called white face on it. So this is Psalms 49 and 11. Their Inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. And you can link this with Malachi 1 and 4. What did it say? Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return, we will return, rebirth, renaissance, we will return and build the desolate places. Right? Their inward thoughts is Psalm 49:11, that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. Ho, the Lord said what? He's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And just for layman's terms, you have Amerigo Vespucci, who named America, Cristobal Colon, who you wicked dummies call him Christopher Columbus. He named Puerto Rico a rich port, port of riches, right? He named that, right? You had this guy, Amerigo Vespucci, I'm sorry, Leo Scipios Africanus, who named Africa, which was an Idumean, a Job 924. He had a brother. I used to have it in my phone, but I guess I deleted it. His brother was his brother who named Asia, right? I forgot his name, but he was the brother of Leo Scipios Africanus. If you brothers can find it, put it on the comment board. So it say what? The inward thoughts here that their house shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names: Africa, Asia, America. Okay? These are all names that was named after the Job 924s. Verse 12 reads, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. What did Solomon say in Ecclesiastes 3? Let's read that and jump back. See, they are like beasts that perish. This is Ecclesiastes 3 in verse 18. I said in my heart concerning the states of the sons of men, that power might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Everyone, it said, even one thing befall them, as one dieth, so dieth the other. Yeah, they have all one breath, so that a man have no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. Right? So back in Psalms 49, you got three classifications of men. You got the sons of God, the sons of men, and sons of the wicked. Right? Sons of the wicked are the Job 924s, and they all link together with the sons of men. They're all heathens, they're all beasts, because all these other nations follow behind the beasts, the Job 924s. Psalms 49 and 13. Listen, this their way is their folly, yet their prosperity approve their sins because of their prideness. We return and build desolate places, right? Verse 14, like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them, right? That's the blessing of Jacob. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning. It say the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. What morning? In the kingdom of heaven, man. When earth will be established in righteousness under Yahweh and King David. It say, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwellings. Babylon the Great gonna be destroyed with missiles, man. Right? This is Psalms 75 and verse 4. These devils' kingdom is falling, man. Right, the water. I'm looking for, if you can find the one, his brother, to my Scipio Africanus, he had a brother who named Asia. His name was something Asia something. But anyway, the water for that. That's beautiful. You put it on the comment board. The brother Al now. So, oh, you know what? Since y'all brothers here, let me do this. Real quick. Bear with me for a second. Okay. So this is Psalms 75 and verse 4. Remember in Job 30, it said they are children of fools, right? I used to have it on my phone. I don't know. I must have deleted it about this guy, the brother of Africanus. So this Psalm 75 and 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly. Now, this is what the Lord told them, right? Because the Lord showed these Job 9:24s. He showed them, right? He tried to let them rule in righteousness. Matter of fact, let me get this. This is Isaiah 26 and 10, right? So I'm gonna hold that and I'm gonna go back to Psalms. Listen to this. This is why the kingdom is falling. Them being wicked, that's already a given. But the Lord showed them favor, man. So this is Psalm 75 and 1, Psalm 75 and 4. This is what the Lord is saying. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, right? When you go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, what does scripture say? If a king deal wisely, so shall his people be wise, right? But if he deal wickedly, his people gonna be wickedly. So is the officers, right? As the ruler, so is the people, man, right? This is what the Lord said, showing you how the Lord gave these devils, he gave them liberty to deal justly, but they can't do it. Psalm 75 and 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Don't get pride. What did it take in Obadiah 1 and 3? The pride of their heart have deceived them, man. Right? I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. This is the Lord trying to show them some type of favor, right? Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. And this also applies to two-thirds of Israel, right? That's why the Lord let these devils come in and do what they did to us. The Babylonians in 586 BC, right? Then Esau, the Job 9:24s, in 70 AD. That's why the Lord let them do it, because we was also fools and dealt foolishly and wicked. So let's read this again. Psalm 75 and 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck. Because this happened with us first. It tell you that in Deuteronomy 32 that Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, man. Right? That's what the Lord said in Ezekiel 16, how he decked us out with a crown. He put a crown on our head. He found us in our own blood, right? Rolled us up, cleaned us off, right? And we waxed fat and kicked, man. So this applies to us first, before any heathens. This applies to us first, man. Right? Verse 6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but power. Yahweh Shema Shah is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. Right? So it's the Lord that did this. So the Lord saying, don't boast that you thinking it's you that's doing these things in the earth. No, just like I can tell you in Ezekiel 39, the Lord say, the heathen will know that the house of Israel went into captivity because they sinned against me, not because you took them down, but because they sinned against me and I gave them into your hands, right? That's why he said, don't get pride. When you get in a position, hey, the Lord gave you this truth. Don't get big headed, man. Don't get big headed because he can take it from you and give it to another. Same thing he's saying to whoever he put in rulership. Don't boast that you just took over. No, I let you do this. Let's prove it. This is Daniel's chapter 4 and verse 17. It reads, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and a demand by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Proverbs 21:1 said, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth it as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. It say, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the bases of men. Right? This what happened. It wasn't man, it was the Lord. Because this is how the Lord deal with the prophecy in his prophecies in his movie, man. Okay? Transition of wealth and power. Now, this is Luke. Salakia. As a matter of fact, let's get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and 14, it reads, the Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes. Right? Who is the Lord talking to about these princes? He's talking about, first and foremost, you Israelites, man. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you West Indian, Haitian men. We are the princes of the Lord, man. Even though the other nations have princes, they are heathens. So it's not important. So when you see princes, it's talking about Israelite men, right? Again, Sirach 10 and 14. The Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead. Right? That's why I said in Daniel 4:17, he set up over it the bases of men. He took us down and set up heathens, which is a low degree, right? The Lord have plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. He took us out of rulership, out of power, right? Ever since Solomon, we have been on the bottom, man. Though we had a certain type of reign during the Byzantine Empire for 1,000 years, we wasn't on top, man. Okay? The Lord had plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathens and destroyed them to the foundation of the earth. He took some of them away. Now, this is us. This is the Lord raising up the kingdom of heaven, right? Starting with Yahushua, King David, the 144,000. This is happening. This is Sirach 10 and 16. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen. That's why I tell you in Revelation 19, on Yahweh's head were many crowns, because he conquered all the heathen nations. Right? Right. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. Listen how cold this is. Because verse 17 go right into Daniel chapter 7. When it said the beast was slain and the rest of the beasts, right? It say Ecclesiastes 10 and 17. He took some of them away, some of the heathens, and destroyed them, and have made their memorial to cease from the earth. Who is this? This is what's going to happen to Edom. Job 9:24. He's going to make their memorial to cease from the earth. Now, to prove this is in Daniel 7. Listen, dealing with the rest of the beasts. Watch this. This is Daniel 7 in verse 11. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. That's Obadiah 1 and 18, right? Listen, verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. So, the 17 heathen nations, only one going to be destroyed. The other 16 heathen nations going to get to go back into their lands because they're going to bring us tributaries forever. It tell you in Isaiah that the gates going to be open to the kingdom forever because they got to bring tributaries forever. They got to bring the best of the best of the best. Corn, wine, their daughters, the best of the best. Their sons for servants, the best of the best. Let's read this again, Ecclesiastes 10 and 17. It reads, verse 16, the Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. They're going to be brought back low. Where we have been sitting at all our lives. The Lord said in Hebrews 2, all our lives we were subject to bondage in Hebrews chapter 2, right? He took some of them away. The sum of them is the Job 9:24s and destroyed them. You see, like I just read in Daniel 7. To the beast, part of the beast was given to the burning flame. That's the Job 9:24s. And had made their memorial to cease from the earth, which I'm going to get into in Job 18, Lord willing. It's going to be a long lesson here. So if you ain't in for the long haul, you might as well leave now. This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 49. See, the Lord did this to us, man. Okay? He did it to us that we may, the Lord give you that high calling, that you may appreciate the kingdom of heaven, that you may really appreciate the kingdom of heaven and how the Lord did us, man, that we may get back, Lord willing, to build the first numbers, man, to get back to the kingdom of heaven. This is Luke 1 and 49. Salakia. For he that is mighty have done to me great things, and holy is his name, and his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. Now look, let me show you something. When you go to Deuteronomy 25, right? Show you that these devils don't fear the Lord. This is Deuteronomy 25 and 17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee, by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt. And that's why, who are the chief people of the earth right now? Them that's in your land. Them that started this fiat currency, this Ponzi scheme currency, and put their face on it. Them that controls everything on the earth. Hollywood, clothes, food, transportation, housing, everything. These devils, Amalek controls everything. The Lord is pointing them out specifically. Remember what Amalek did unto thee, by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way, and smote the hindermost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he who Amalek, the chief house of the Job 9:24s, and he feared not God. They don't fear the Lord. So back in Luke 1 and 50, it says, and his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. That's Exodus 20 and 5, Exodus 25 and 6, Deuteronomy 7 and 9. Them that fear the Lord from generation to generation. What the Lord said, Exodus 20 and 6, Exodus 25 and 6, he said he loved them that love him and those that keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Right? Right. Deuteronomy 7 and 9. Them that keep his commandment, that fear him and love him to 1,000 generations, man. Verse 51. He showeth strength with his arm. He have scattered the proud in the imaginations of their heart. Who was scattered? You Israelites. That's why it started with us first, man. He did it to us first, man. He said he was going to make us an example. to the heathens, man. They was gonna hiss, gnash their teeth, and whack the hand at us, man. Right? It say, he showed strength with his arm. He have scattered the proud in the imaginations of their hearts because we wax fat and kick, man. Deuteronomy 32. We got proud and we wax fat. It say, verse 52, Luke 1 and 52, he have put down the mighty from their seats and exalted them of low degree. Deuteronomy Daniel 4 and 17, man. He put these devils, these low degree devils up before us, man, who used to braid around the bushes, okay? Who ate raw meat. They didn't have no language, okay? It say, he have filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he have sent empty away. Did he not send us away? And we was rich. His Lord say, he said he gave us all things, man. He said, well, he fed us to the full, man. And we didn't need nothing. We was rich in all things. That's why I say, matter of fact, the Spirit just had me, let me get this, in Deuteronomy 28 and 47. And that's what the Lord said this. Because thou servest not the Lord, thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. We had everything we needed. What did Jake do? The Lord said, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, food, and in thirst, water, and in nakedness, clothes, and in the want of all things, transportation, housing, work. We gotta go to these devils for everything, man. And this nakedness also applies to Adam and Eve. We didn't have no covering, so we took a covering of the heathen nations' philosophies, man, their ways of life, man. You see that? So back in Luke 1 and 52, the Lord did a number on us, man. He have put down the mighty from their seats and exalted them of low degree. He have filled the hungry with good things. These devils was base, was eating juniper roots. They was hungry. He have filled the hungry with good things, and the rich have he sent away empty. Sent empty away. He have hoping his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy. And that's why the Lord is raising up. He's raising up the tabernacle of David now, man. We are coming to the end of our destruction, man, of our being chastised, being punished, man, being corrected. To tell you in Lamentations 4 and 22, man. Right? This is Job 18. So now the roles are reversing, man. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. This is Job 18 and 5. Yeah. The light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. What did it tell you in Proverbs 20 and 27? The spirit of the Lord, no, he said the spirit of man is the candle of the Lord. Let's read that real quick. So now it's time for these devils' candle to be put out. Just like 2/3 of Jake, man. Proverbs 20 and 27. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. So in Job 18, let's go back. Job 18 and verse 6. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. You see? Because our spirit is the candle of the Lord, man. The steps of his strength shall be straightening, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Who is this devil's own counsel? Let's read it. Revelation 17 and 17, 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Hold on. This is Obadiah. In beautiful times, man. Obadiah 1 and 7. All the men of thy confederacy, that's everybody that's joined to North America through the UN, all 193 nations. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. To do what? What do you do when you go to the border? It's fight time. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. What does it mean for you to eat somebody's bread? This devil made the whole world through the force of the sword, make everybody get the petrodollar. You're either gonna get the petrodollar or we're gonna destroy you, just like Gaddafi, right? That's why they had to destroy Saddam Hussein and Bin Laden because they ain't want to play ball no more, which all was part of the CIA whole gatherings together, man, being trained by Babylon the Great, man. They ain't want to play ball no more. Gaddafi said he can do his own thing. No, you either gonna get down with Esau or you're gonna lay down, man. So they that eat thy bread, everybody said the Chinese, everybody sell their merchandise here, Babylon the Great, man. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, there is none understanding in him. And that's why I say, going back into that Job, this is Job 20:22. Listen, it said, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right? Jeremiah 51. Right? They that drunk thy wine, that the nations are mad at this devil, man. Right? It said the same thing in Isaiah 14. So all these nations is going to turn on this devil, man. Isaiah 14, what is that? Isaiah 14 and verse 9, it reads, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. You see? So, back in Job 18, everybody pissed off. You see the precepts that link with one verse? Everybody pissed off with this devil because of their draconian constitution, their draconian measures, right? Their policies, their legislations, their philosophies, their democracy, man. Job 18 and 7, the strength of his hand, the steps of his hand, Salaki, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. You see? For he is cast into the net by his own feet, and he walketh upon the snare. I love this verse. Verse 9, Job 18 and 9. The jinn shall take him by the heel. Who took Esau by the heel? Come on, man. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Who is the robber? Who is the robber in the scriptures? It's Yahweh Shah. And it say he shall return like a thief in the night. The jinn, Job 18 and 9, the jinn shall take him by the heel. What's a jinn? It's a trap. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Hold on. Hosea chapter 12. Let's see who took him by the heel. This is Hosea chapter 12 and verse 3. He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength he had power with Yahweh Shema Shah. So that jinn that taking him by the heel is who? This is Job 18 again and 9. It say, the jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Hosea 12 and 3 said, what? He took his brother by the heel in the womb. So this jinn, it said a robber shall prevail against him. What does scripture say? Out of Jacob. What's that? Numbers 24. Out of Jacob is he. Let's get that. Let's link these together. This is Numbers 24. This is Numbers 24 and 19. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he shall perish forever. So who is this jinn? Who is this robber? It's Yahweh Shah. This is Job 18 and 10. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side, because the Lord is stirring up all these heathen nations that come against these devils, man, and shall drive him to his feet, meaning to bring him down to nothing. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. Who is the firstborn of death? The same one who said, the jinn shall take him by the heel, the robber shall prevail. It's Yahushua in the book of Job, you dumb niggas. This is talking about Yahushua, you demon niggas that talking about the Messiah is not in the Old Testament. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to who? The King of terrors, which is Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, man. When you read these scriptures, and they tell you that the Lord say, the image of the Heavenly Father Yahweh is Yahushua, man. Didn't he say he came in his father's stead? He came to do his father's business. What did the Lord tell the apostles? If you saw me, you saw my father, man. It shall dwell, it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. We all was bought with a price. Even the heathens, man. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. Habitation means everything. Everything that you got, your lineage, which is going to read here. His roots shall be dried up beneath. What's your roots? That's your whole lineage, your whole line of family, all your people. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branches be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth. Remember what I read in Deuteronomy 25. The Lord say, let's read again, just in case you don't remember. Let's read it. Deuteronomy 25 and 19. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord Yahweh thy power have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee for inheritance, to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. So, in Job 18, Job 18 and 17, his remembrance shall perish from the earth. So they are not done away with, Vocab Malone. They are still here, waiting to get judgment. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets. No name. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. Now this shows he gonna have nothing. He shall neither have son nor nephew, because if he got a brother, the lineage can continue. He should neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were frightened. And that's why I tell you in Ecclesiastes 4 and 16, listen, there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Why? Because they know that they're going to be destroyed. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. And let's prove that they know. That's why them that come after shall not rejoice. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. It reads, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. We said we will return and build up desolate places. Now you ain't gonna do this no more. This is your kingdom was temporary. It say, for I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, like I said in Job, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord. Hold on. He just said the same thing in Job. Job 18 in verse 19. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. It said the same thing in Jeremiah 49. Let's read it. This is Jeremiah 49 in verse 10. And it reads, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. He's gonna be destroyed. His whole lineage got to go. This is Job 27 and 13. This is why they're not going to rejoice. Listen, as it said in Job 18, as it said in Isaiah 14 and 22. Job 27 and 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with God and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. And that's why these Job 9:24 women are jumping on Jake, man. They cleaving to Jake right now, man, because they ain't studying this devil, man. They ain't studying this devil, man. This is Job chapter 20 and 18. It reads, that which he labored for shall he restore. And you can read this in Exodus 22 when it tells if a man steals something and take land or take sheep, right? He got to restore sevenfold, man. That which he labored for, he is like you. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. You can go read that in the law in Exodus 22, man. If you steal somebody's stuff, man, land, sheep, whatever, you got to get that back, man. Verse 19, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. These devils ain't building North America. They ain't building none of these countries where they dwell at. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Gad, Reuben, Simeon, Naphtali, Issachar, Manasseh. Those are the ones who built these devils' kingdoms, man. The 12 tribes of Israel. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Asians, man. Babylon the Great, North America, was built off the blood, sweat, and tears off the backs of you 12 tribes of Israel, man. This is Numbers 35 and 33. It reads, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So like it, bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. So like it. Let's read this again. Numbers 35. This is number 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Who destroyed Babylon the Great, North America? Who came over here and raped, robbed, murdered, pillaged, and plundered North American Indians, Seminole Indians, which is Gad and Reuben, and the so-called Mexicans, Issachar. Who did that, man? Who did that? Who went into uh the rich port of riches, right? And destroyed so-called Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. Who did that to the so-called Jamaicans and the so-called Haitians and so-called Colombians and the so-called Cubans? Who did that? So you should not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shared therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Right? The precept to that verse is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Listen to this. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. North America, Babylon the Great, the spiritual city, the great city, was established, was built off of what? Blood, off the blood, sweat, and tears, off the backs of so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Verse 13, behold, is it not of the Lord Yahweh of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire? And the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. Sure they are, man. That's what's going on right now. That's why you got all these Job 9 and 24 YouTubers, man, complaining because they're not getting a piece of the pie no more, man. They on the bottom just like we is, man. They on the bottom. They in the ghettos, the villa, the villas, the barrios, just like you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, man. So now they are complaining because they ain't getting a piece of the pie. Because these devils is cutting off everything, and you either on top or you on the bottom. Ain't no more middle, nothing, man. Behold, is it not of Yahweh Shema Mashah of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire which you have gained here in 200-300 years in building? You're gonna lose it in 1 hour, man. And the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. Vanity meaning empty, vain. There's nothing there. Just like this Ponzi scheme, fiat currency. It's not real. It's a Ponzi scheme to keep you in debt. This is man. So yeah, let me get a couple of brother precepts. So we see this devil kingdom is falling, man. It's falling. And the scriptures say it's becoming, they say Babylon is falling and it's becoming an habitation of devils. What we see going on around the world, man. People are waxing worse and worse. Kids killing parents, right? Men's killing their families and their wives. And this is regular. This is regular, man. The little Jake, the Levite Jake, and it was a little while ago, some months ago. I did a lesson on it. He killed his mama because she told him he got to start supporting himself. The one Jake that had the Draco killed his father, stepmama, daughter, his sister, and one of his it killed his brother, and the one younger brother he lived. You got these guys killing kids, killing their parents, parents killing their kids. Listen, man, why? Because of pandemonium, man. Demons, I say pandemonium, pan and all demonium demons. That's why I say Babylon is falling. It's becoming a habitation for devils, man. Number wickedness. And rightfully so, because this devil kingdom was a temporary kingdom, man. It wasn't meant to go on forever, man. And in the midst of this devil kingdom falling, that's the spirit too, brother. I was just thinking about this precept. Just thinking about that before you posted it. Let's read it. Beautiful. I was just thinking about this on everything. This is Kazak Bunyahalda. Matter of fact, let's read. This is let me pronounce the brother name right. Yeah, I know I get it mixed up. This is the brother Mala'aka Mala'akaya Malah al-Kayar, servant of Yahushua. Luke 10 and 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, meaning them falling from their rulership, their kingdom. This is Kazab Yahweh, Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right. So let me get this real quick. So this is Luke chapter 11 and 20 and Luke 11 and 17. But he knowing their thoughts said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. You see? So there's another precept in Mark 3 and 23. It reads, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. Right? Now, there's a precept in Ecclesiasticus 21, if I'm mistaken. It reads this. Ecclesiastes 21 and 27. When the ungodly curse of Satan, he curseth his own soul, man. These devils' kingdom is falling. Why? Because it was a temporary kingdom, man. It wasn't meant to go on forever, man. And let's close with this. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, wherever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, wherever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, wherever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, wherever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, wherever the chimneys in Zion were hot, and ere the present years were sought out, and whatever the inventions of them that now sin was turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the part and son of other times? Or when shall the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And I read this in Job 18 and 9, when it said, the jinn shall take him by the heel, right? And a robber shall prevail against him. That jinn that took him by the heel is Yahushua, man. For the end, for it's a for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of him that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other questions Ezra asked thou not. So right here, it's beautiful because we don't even gotta read 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. That's how cold it is, because it's right here in Hosea 12 and 3. He took his brother by the heel in the womb, and by his strength he had power with Yahweh Shema Shai, which is the same precept in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. It's right here in Hosea 12 and 3 that Esau have to go down. By who? By Jacob. And who out of Jacob, it said a star shall come out of Jacob. Who is that? Yahweh Shai, man. So while for tuning in, may Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Gotta give all praise, honor, gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you accept it or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing the truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the whole elect, and shalom to the Lord who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning, Lord was edifying. Till next time I say shalom. Wah, abab, abab. The Water for tuning in. May you how about Shema shall continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. Hey, the water for your precepts. The water for your precepts, man. Ooh, that's beautiful. Let me read this. This is the brother Azara Yahawada. Azara Yahawada. He put up Psalms 119 and 117. It reads, Hold thou me up, and I shall be safe, and I will have respect unto thy statutes continually. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statutes, for their deceits is falsehood. Oh, that's the spirit I want to read. Isaiah 26 and 10. Verse 19 reads, Psalm 119 and 119, Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross, therefore I love thy testimonies. Oh, that's why I want to read this too. The water for that spirit, because I almost forgot to read. Isaiah 26 and 10. Let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. And the Lord showed you favor. Like I mentioned earlier, I forgot to read the precept. The Lord showed this devil favor, and he had been ruling the earth in wickedness. The Lord, even though the Lord gave you a temporary blessing, you still ruled. Do you know you got some temporary? You're gonna try to use it to the best of your ability to try to do things righteous as possible. And this nigga don't do it. The land Sabbath, the food. The Lord showed you favor and let you rule the earth, the entire planet. These devils control the planet. Job 9 and 24, and they are ruling in wickedness, man. Let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness, which is the land of Israel, will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. And that's why you gotta go, man. The Lord, that's why the Lord gave you a temporary kingdom, because he already knew, man. So, the water, tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shai continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. Till next time, I say shalom. Wa, ba, ba, ba.